What's going on, YouTube? ClayQZult back again with another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video, and today we're going over how to reroll in the game, a little tier list on which characters you should be looking to get and then start out with and invest in, and also I just want to announce the game's coming out tonight, so let's get into it. Alright guys, the time is here. Grand Cross is launching tonight. And you can see the timer when you log into the game. You guys can go ahead and pre-download the game, get it all nice and neat and ready on your phone or emulator at 9 p.m. EST. That'll be 6 p.m. PST, and then wherever you are, you'll have to convert it. But the game will do it for you when you try to get into this. Now, a couple of things I want to tell you guys about to be ready, absolutely ready at launch, is that you guys want to go ahead and change your time. You know, we're going to do a little bit of a hack. Change your time on your phone or on your emulator to be like tomorrow at 9 p.m. Once you do this, the game is actually going to allow you to download a lot of the assets, get everything set up. So when finally servers open and everybody's running in, you don't have to be fighting for those downloads. You already have it pre-downloaded. And that way you can get in and reroll even faster, you know, be ahead of the pack. Because we all know when the big games launches, server congestion can be a real problem. Another thing you may notice is that I have my game locked in landscape. So when you load up the game, it may be portrait, and you want to have it nice like I have mine here. If we go ahead and click off of this, nice in landscape mode, you're going to have to use an external app to lock it in this mode. I really wish it was just that option in the game because the game does support it very nicely. I use an app called Rotation Control that's going to be for Android devices. I actually have no idea how to do it for iOS, and maybe Apple just doesn't allow you to, but if you guys know, please let me know in the comments below because that'd be awesome. But this is how I'm going to be playing the game because it supports it. It looks awesome. It never like, from what I've seen from the JP players, it never like black bars the sides, you know, when you're actually in battle and things like that. They actually use big enough pictures to do it. And I enjoy the game better this way, so that's the way I'm going to be playing it. Speaking of playing it, tonight on stream, 9 p.m. EST, we're definitely going to be playing this game, and I'm going to be doing a $125 total gift cards giveaway, so it's going to be $625 to give back to the community. So it'll be hype, so you guys can buy maybe some things in the game, go buy you some McDonald's, go buy you some coffee, so you can stay up all night grinding the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. It's going to be up to you on what you want to spend it on, but I'm going to be giving back to the community, so please come by the stream tonight. I'd really appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's talk about how to reroll in this game. So I'm going to be using JP images, but there was a beta that came out, and it's going to be the same process. So once you get into the game, you're going to have to go through a tutorial. Once you get through the tutorial, it's going to send you to like here's how you summon. You know, every gacha game does that. Once you get to that point, you're going to summon. Then you're going to go back to the Boar Hat, which is going to be like your main hub. You know, the tutorial is going to take you through this. You guys are going to be able to get some of your daily login bonuses. You're going to get another SSR ticket. So the first summon you do, which is that first one I talked about, the tutorial takes you through, is going to be a guaranteed SSR unit. Next, you're going to be able to get another SSR guaranteed ticket that you can spend and see what you get by dressing up Elizabeth and going through a little bit more of the tutorial. Once you get that ticket, it'll try to make you do something else in the tutorial. Back out, force close the app, reback open it, and you're going to be able to get straight into rerolling again. So you get to like skip that little bit that you have to do because it's going to take you back to the Boar Hat. You can click summon and then spend that ticket. And that's going to be the reroll, guys. You're going to get some crystals or diamonds, excuse me. You're going to get some diamonds in the game. You can spend those on rerolling as well, or you can save them. But those two are guaranteed SSRs, and that's what you're going to be spending and trying to summon with when you start the game out, okay? Next up, as you can see here, you're going to go down in your options. You're going to click this little part right here that I have shown on screen. Once you click that, you're going to have an option. Another option you have to click right here, and in the game, it's going to be like clear game data or something like that. Once you click that, it pretty much just wipes the game clean instantly of the account you just rolled. So if you rolled something good, don't click it. But if you don't like it, you click that, and then you go right back through the steps I just talked about, and then you're good to go with rerolling. So it's pretty quick in terms of what you have to do to get the game reset, because normally like other games you have to go in the files, delete some files, you know, maybe re-download the game. You're not gonna have to do that here. You're just going to do the steps I just showed you, but the tutorial does take a minute. So that's going to be the thing that holds you back. From what I've heard, it's like 6 to 8 minutes on average if you're quick with it, which isn't that bad. But it is, you know, some people may not like having to wait that long. So those are the steps that actually re-rolling, and sadly I can't get into the server to show you, or I would, but I think the JP pictures are good enough. What people really want to hear about is what units you need to look for, and then what units you need to be making sure that you, you know, put your stuff into, because you don't want to waste any of your stuff. At the beginning of this game, everything you use to awaken, your pendants, you know, leveling up units. It's all going to be very important, and you don't want to waste it. They're like little precious eggs, and you don't want to smash them. So I'm going to show you guys what you guys should be working on and which units you should be definitely seeking to upgrade. All right, guys, so here's this little graphic. I actually am going to have it linked in the description below as well, so you guys can have it up, maybe look at it, and you don't have to keep going through the video or whatever. I'll have it on like an Imgur post or something like that. But here are the choices you guys are going to be looking for at the start of the game. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm some expert at the game. I've done a lot of research, but I haven't exactly played every single character, but these are the characters from what I've learned and from what you have to do in the game are the ones you want to focus on. So the top choice, this is the one you're rerolling for 100%, is Green Counter Meliodas. This guy is going to be a powerhouse and taking you through the story mode. Story mode is going to be actually quite difficult for a lot of people. It's not something you just go through like other gotchas, hit auto and let it go. You're going to have to work for it and beat it, and you know, that's going to help you with character progression. It's going to unlock a lot of stuff. So it's going to be very important. He gets stronger as his HP goes down. He has a counter where he does more damage the more HP is gone. His critical rate is passive as his critical rate goes up as his HP goes down. So even if you're taking hits in story mode, you can swing back and do a lot of damage. He's going to be your top choice to carry you through the early stages of the game, and that's the one I'm going to be going for. Now, there are a ton of other SSR choices. So in this game, SSR is the top, you know, hardest unit to get, and then SR, then R is after that. Okay, guys? So that's going to be like how you look at the different rarities. The other SSRs, excuse me, that you're going to be able to get your hands on, the first one's going to be Green Jericho. Now, Green Jericho is very much another option as opposed to Green Meliodas when it comes to doing a lot of damage. She is a glass cannon. Bust out, does a lot of damage. I mean, even in the JP version of the game, just like a week ago, she was finally replaced as the top damage. Somebody is starting to beat her now. I don't want to spoil it for you, but she was used a lot of the time in doing a lot of cool stuff. Like, I mean, if you love the glass cannon unit, if you want somebody that's doing big numbers, Green Jericho is going to be your option. Now, when I talk about these units, I'm going to call them out by like their element or whatever they call this in this game. It's like an element. You know, there's red, green, blue, and then certain ones are good against other ones. And each character has a different type, you know, different one. So there's a, you know, a blue Meliodas or a red Meliodas, and there's going to be a demon Meliodas, which we'll talk about later on. But when I say that, that's how you guys can know which one I'm talking about and use the wiki, which will also be linked in the description below, to give a look at him and maybe learn a little bit more. Next up, we have Blue Slater. And Blue Slater, and then we have down here Red, Elizabeth, and Hawk. These two units are going to be damage dealing units you guys can get your hands on for the early demon raids. The demon raids are going to be very, very important. It's when you pair up with an ally and you go in and you fight this big demon and you get awesome drops. And that's going to be a little bit later in the game once you start finishing out the last few chapters. But for the first one, it's going to be the Red Demon, and these two are great to fight against them. They're going to be your damage dealers, and obviously the SR is going to be easier to get a hold of and max out. But the reason being is the first demon, weak against humans, and then also is red, so the blue is going to be strong against them, whereas hers isn't, you know, going to be that strong against them because it won't have the bonus strength. You know what I mean? Like if you fight a weakness or whatever. So, but they're both humans, so they're going to do more damage, and they both have passives that kind of go along with really taking down the demon. They both do a lot of damage. So the red demon can be CC'd, which we'll get into the red demon and everything later. I just want to give you a description of why these are good. The red demon can be CC'd, so the way it's going to work is you guys are going to have like a freeze unit at the very end. It's going to freeze the red demon. The red demon's not even going to be able to take any turns. The way that helps out these two units is Red, Elizabeth, and Hawk gets a stat boost to her stats. I think it's 10% each time she doesn't take damage. So if the red demon isn't doing anything, it keeps getting frozen, she's going to keep stockpiling that power and do a lot of hits. And then for Blue Slater is going to do more damage if the enemy doesn't have, or excuse me, get more critical rate if the enemy doesn't have ult gauge. So obviously the red demon's trying to punch you, but he's frozen, so he's going to keep getting that critical up. I think it's 300%. And going to be able to go in and do a lot more damage as well. So those are why you want to pick those two. Moving on, we do have two of the main buffers in the game, and these are going to be ones you want on your team. We have Green Helbram and then Green Gilthunder. So these two units are going to be your buffers in raid and then even on your team. They both kind of buff the same way, but you're going to want to get both built up because they buff up attack, by the way. So you can do more damage, obviously kill the raids faster and get through the content. They have abilities that buff up attack. However, when you're in a raid scenario, you can't have two Green Gilthunder buff up attack because they don't stack. However, different sources of attack buff are going to stack. So you want one of your raid members to have one of these and one of them to have the other. Now, obviously, getting the green Guild Thunder is going to be easier for you because it's an SR as opposed to the green Helbram, which is an SSR, but you kind of want to have both in your back pocket and built up just in case somebody else doesn't have the other one or one is better in a scenario that you may want to use. So these two units are going to be great for almost all of the Hell raids and a lot of content. These two units right here I'm talking about are going to be good for the first red demon. Now, moving on to the gray demon, we do have Green Skinny King. Now, Green Skinny King is going to be the premier damage dealer against that fight. So far, I know of 3 demon fights. We have the red one, then we have the gray one, and then we have the crimson one. So for the red one, we have these two as damage dealers. For the gray one, we have Green Skinny King. And Green Skinny King is going to be good because one is strong against the Gray Demon is weak against fairies, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage. On top of that, the way he works is he builds up his ult gauge. The more ult gauge he has, the more damage he does with his abilities, and he's perfect for that scenario and taking down because he gets type advantage and all that kind of stuff too. So the way you're going to work with him, just giving you a little sneak peek, is you're going to build up his ult gauge and use his skills 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 until you get him close to the end, and then use the ultimate to kill him off, because you don't want to pop that ultimate off too much or too early, because if you do, then you're not getting that bonus of his passive. And last but not least, when we talk about this reroll guide, we got to talk about Green Kayn. Green Kayn is literally only used in the support slot. So essentially you have, when you go into battle, you have 3 units. So it's like Meliodas, Elizabeth, and Bond, right? And then you have a support slot. So if one of these go down, he swaps in, or he or she swaps in and takes over, right? In this game, you kind of don't want your units dying anyway, so you don't want the support slot to be coming in, or the swap spot or whatever. So you really use them for their passives. Whoever's in that support slide, their passive does apply even though they're not in battle. And Kayn is really good because his passive is 10% attack while you're in a raid. So that's going to help you guys with the raids, even more damage. And he's going to be very important to have built up and ready to go when it comes time when we're going to be doing those demon raids. So these are the ones I think you guys should be looking for. There are a few more that we could talk about, but they're not really released yet in global from what I understand. Again, it could change because the game's not out yet, but I think this is a good focus. Now I'm going to go over to my tier list and talk about a few more units that you haven't even seen here. And now we're going to move on to the tier list I've created. We have SSS tier, which is going to be God tier. These units are insane. Going to be using a lot of different things from PvE to PvP, and you're going to be ready to go in there and do a lot of damage. We have SS tier, which is really good. S tier, which is like support casts, which you're going to need, but they're not like super crazy good and everything. And then we have A tier, which is kind of on the side. Now, looking at these units, you'll notice that a lot of these units aren't in the reroll. Like, why aren't they on the reroll clip you just showed, Clay? The reason being is they are not available to be rerolled for, okay? There's gonna be a thing in this game, which I'll have a guide out tomorrow, Tuesday. It's going to be called the coin shop, and in the coin shop you guys can take dupes of units you get. So if you, in this game, if you get like a Bond and then you get another copy of that Bond, you get his Bond coin. You can use that coin to either make his ultimate better, you know, make the character enhance him, or you can take that coin and go to the coin shop and buy some units. So let me explain this. We have Gowther up here at top, or Gowther, excuse me, I always say it wrong. Gowther up top, and he's going to be the best unit in the game, hands down. He has an S2 ability, or his S2 enhances all the rest of the cards that you have available, and this also works in raid. So essentially you can make a card from a 1-star to a 2-star, from a 2-star to a 3-star, or if that card is 2-star, he makes everybody's cards go up. So instead of just targeting one, it makes everybody, and in a raid that targets everyone. So we're talking about killing those demons. You know, if everybody's cards are getting enhanced and doing more damage or doing better effects, that's going to be great for you. Also has some other things that make him great, but I don't want to talk on it too much. Next up we have Blue King, and he's going to be available. You get him from the story. So he's going to be in the coin shop as well, but you can get him from the story. And he's going to be extremely strong in PvP and PvE, does a lot of damage, has the ability to petrify and kind of spam that, so keep enemies at bay if they can be CC'd. So I want to interject while I'm talking about this. These units that are in the coin shop were not summonable in JP. For global, we're seeing some weird stuff in the data mine before we get to play, where there may be banners with them on it, okay? I do not think you're going to be able to reroll for them. I don't think they're going to be out upon release. So that may be a little bit weird. And again, we'll see the coin shop as we go in. But these are the units you should really focus on. And I think it'll still work for you guys. And give you guys a little, you know, before you get in, give you guys a little bit of information. Next up, we have Red Demon Meliodas, another coin shop unit. This guy is going to be great for doing damage against Crimson Demon. Okay, this is going to be your Crimson Demon damage dealer. You're going to be looking for him. Then we have the Green Meliodas here. We have Green Jericho. And then Green Bond. Now, this is coin shop Bond. So you cannot summon him in the summon pool. Well, you couldn't in JP, so let's see how global goes. He was really strong starting out in the JP, like meta, right? He was very much used in PvP, PvE. He's a pretty strong unit, but he fell off later on. And like I was talking about before, you really want to take your time in investing in units you will use all the time. So the ones I'm really hitting on, the ones I'm really saying, hey, invest in, these top tier units, the ones you're going to be using in these raids every day that you go in and grind these raids, those are the ones you really want to spend on. I'm not saying, Bond is my favorite character in the anime, by the way. I'm not saying do not invest in Bond because he's going to be a powerhouse early on, but then he falls off and you won't be using him as much. So maybe invest in the other units first, and then if you have time, go back to Bond. Next up, we have another coin shop unit in Merlin. This Merlin is really, really good. It's a supportive type unit. Has a in this game, you have different units that can take down ult gauge of an opponent. Can cleanse, which is actually the blue Bond can cleanse as Blue King can cleanse as well, which is insane, right? Like the petrified cleanse, lots of damage. Really good unit. Put up a shield for you guys, put your ult gauge up, take your opponent's ult gauge down, or you could also seal things like seal attack cards so they can't be attacking you, things like that. So that's something to look at with the green Merlin. Now there will be a red Merlin, and then we'll talk about this this guy right here. Those two are going to be your, and I don't even know if they're going to be in the global release, right? We'll have to wait. Those two are going to be your freezing units. So I put him on here just so you guys can see his face if he is in the game. But he's an SR, and then the red Merlin is SSR. They're going to have freeze abilities, which are going to be used for the red demon. Remember, I talked about you have to freeze him at the end of each turn so he doesn't hit you for the best strategy. You're going to want one or the other to make sure you get that done. So that's why I put him here, and I want to discuss the red Merlin as well. Red Merlin's really good and has a freeze ability, and when you hit the frozen target, you do more damage. It's kind of like a little debuff there. So really, really good units there. And we've already talked about these that we've gone through here and what they're useful for. But I just wanted to lay this out so you know which ones you really should be going for and which ones you should be investing in first off. I'm telling you right now, Gowther is literally the best unit of the game. I will be putting everything I can. First off, I'm going to build up my Meliodas that I'm going to reroll for because I need to have damage, right? I need to have damage to beat the storyline. But as soon as I can, I'm going to be going for Gowther and getting him. I want to give you a little bit of, and then leveling him up because he's going to be used everywhere. PvP, PvE, raids, whatever you want. This guy is a mainstay in every party. What I want to say, though, is in the coin shop, you know how I said you could buy them with dupe SSR coins? They will have sales. So instead of it being like 7 coins, it'll be 5 coins. And you kind of want to wait because those coins add up, right? Like if you buy everything at 7, you could have bought a whole nother unit. So you may have to wait. We don't know what the rotation is going to be in global yet. You guys probably already know if the game's out right now and I'm playing on the stream, but that's pretty much where we are on the re-rolling and the coin shop. I'll go into more detail in the coin shop tomorrow when I get access to it. But overall, super excited about the game. I better see you on stream. I cannot wait. Hopefully this guide helped you guys out. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below. If you have a way to make iOS lock like we talked about in landscape mode, I would love to hear it because I want to use my iPad. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about this. And if you're going to be re-rolling or just sticking with what you get, and subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ClayAccuseUlt tonight for release, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.